Oh, Tashidele. Hello, everybody. How are you? Yeah, I hope everyone keeping well, taking good care of yourself, taking good care of each other. Yeah, and welcome back to the session. Yeah, so we start with settling ourselves in the present moment. Do few rounds of breathing exercise. Oh, yeah. Then take a few moments to reflect and feel feel fortunate, feel grateful, gratitude about your life, grateful uh, to all those conducive conditions that you have, uh, families, friends, freedom, meeting of Dharma, have opportunity to not only meet but practice the Dharma, and meeting complete aspect of Dharma. More than that, meeting the Lojong teaching, the path, the teaching, uh, most suited uh, in the most turbulent time, in most degenerated period. The teaching and the practice of Lojong truly the antidote, like the will of sharp weapon that strikes right at the heart of the root cause of samsara, root cause of all the miseries, all the problems. The teaching, the Lojong teaching that which does not require much time to appreciate and understand and feel uh, feel reasonable, feel uh, beneficial, because the teaching, the way how you present, the way or the nature of the practice, it is so relevant to our day-to-day life. It is so effective, uh, so effective cure to our day-to-day problems, day-to-day difficulties. And not only that, uh, that very easy, to understand the teaching, but it has so depth, so profound, so vast, that it play the antidote to even to the root cause of the entire faults, and it become uh, absolute complete cause for temporary happiness up to the ultimate happiness of for yourself, for your family, and for rest of the numberless sentient being. How fortunate, how unbelievable fortunate that we have that opportunity, and we are taking that opportunity. We are in that opportunity. We are enjoying that opportunity. So how fortunate, how fortunate. So feel grateful to all the past lineage gurus, the uh, Kadamba masters, the immediate Kadamba masters like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Jabja Lama Sobramiche, uh, like for myself, like late Geshe Lama Koncho, uh, late Kensuro Miche Lama Thondup, etc. Uh, then all your immediate gurus, all the way up to Lama Tsongkhapa, then all the earlier great Gadamba masters up to Domdamba, Atisha, all the way up to Manjushri, Maitreya, and of course the principal lineage of Guru is the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. So feel gratitude, feel fortunate, you feel the blessings. Then aspire that you want to share this fortune with the rest of the numberless sentient beings. Starting from dedicating time to study these teachings, to contemplate on these teachings, immediately, right away, taking these teachings in action in our day-to-day life, you know, uh, to purify negativities, to accumulate, vast virtues. Especially reflecting on those so many unfortunate people in the world who spend, their energy, their power of speech, power of their mind into negative doings. You can clearly see in the world, even in the communities, even in Dharma communities, people choose to say wrong thing, people choose to against each other, people choose to always blame someone, criticize, slander, malice, and all these are expressions of what the person think in the heart negatively, and in even certain extent physical violence. No question about barbaric lands, barbaric environment, but even who are civilized, even who met the Dharma, and still involved like that. It's so unbelievable. You see. So thinking of them, then you feel the urgency that I must practice hard, I must practice well, I must practice diligently, completely. So even one person take that commitment, you know, those negative side will lessen. Mm, those positive environment will be developed. You see, so like that. So we are in that position, that fortunate position. So must acknowledge, feel good about it, feel happy, feel motivated. Yeah. So for that reason, then I want to commit, not just saying, but I really want to take a precept, commitment to really to work onto it. Then, for that reason, go for refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. The refuge that infused by big heart, great compassion, concerning of all beings' well-being. So that is the Mayanic refuge in Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then get inspired by, on top of the acknowledgement that you just did for yourself with all this fortunate existent, then especially after taking the refuge, you have an even clearer understanding of the qualities of the Guru Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then get even more inspired, then to really to commit the rest of our life, every single actions of our body, speech, and mind, and in particularly this very session, dedicate, totally for the numberless sentient beings' temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of full enlightenment. Sanje Jodang Zoji Jonala Janju Bandu Dani Jazoji Daji Jinzoji Zonamji Rola Benje Sanje Dubarai Jo Sanje Jodang Zoji Jonamla Janju Bandu Dani Jazoji Daji Jinzoji Zonam Rola Benje Sanje Dubarai Jo Sanje Jodang Zoji Jonala Janju Bandu Dani Jazoji Daji Jinzoji Zonamji Rola Benje Sanje Dubarai Kange to zene zone dawa dam je bambe jire dambe jene denze ma godam de la chanse Tonye ninje sondo jo belam zeje kanje dende gwe chana bemo denze gyazo la sowa devso da ju chinje Semje damje dewa dan dewe jodan debra joje semje damje dunga je jodan dawa joje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa joje semje damje nire chat Nidandave danyo na ne bara juroje senje danje dewa dan dewe jodan debra joje semje damje dunga je jodan dawa joje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa joje semje damje nire jatan nidandave danyo na ne bara joje semje damje dewa dan dewe jodan debra joje semje damje dunga je jodan dawa joje semje damje dunga mebe dewa dan mi dawa joje semje damje nire jatan nidandave danyo na ne bara juroje. Okay, thank you. Oh yeah. Okay, so we are studying will of sharp weapon attribute to Dharma. Dharma Rakshita, and we completed up to the verse 5, which is Then we're going to start today from verse 6. If you are using the same text, the Great Collection of Mind Training, the Great Collection, the text, then it is on page 134. So these coming 3 verses are very important. It is specifically emphasize about the main negation, the main problem, the main issue that to be eliminated, which is all about why we practice the Dharma, why we practice Lojong, and what really the will of sharp weapon is. And that is the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. And also then to discuss the will of sharp weapon that strike the heart of these issues or this problem or these causes of all the sufferings, all the samsara, the antidote, which is emptiness. Uh, emptiness. Mm. So um, this the teaching in Will of Sharp Weapon very much uh, a detailed um, teaching on uh, yeah, that it's two sections of the teaching. One of the section is the coming three verses that specifically talks about the general antidote to all the problems, all the sufferings, all the delusions, all the defilements. Mm. The antidote that which uh, you know which play as a complete cure to any kind of negativities, any kind of sufferings, any kind of samsara, any kind of delusion and defilement, and that is emptiness. Then the rest of the teaching very much focus on the specific antidote to specific negations, specific antidote to specific problems, specific antidote to specific samsaric experiences, like that. Okay. Mm. So here it says, from now on, I will distance myself from the demon's emissary, self-grasping, which makes me wander helplessly and seek only selfish happiness and prosperity. I will joyfully embrace hardship for the sake of others. So from now on, mm, uh, after meeting this teaching, after understanding what is the real problem is, what is the real uh, issue that we we ever wanted to be eliminate, but unable to eliminate, unable to purify up to now, since beginningless lifetime, uh, is because of not understanding the the correct characteristic of the issue that you want to eliminate, and due to not understanding the correct tool or the correct antidote that which will eliminate the negation because of that. So now once you expose to this teaching, then you will learn exactly what to be eliminated, and what is the antidote that have the capability to eliminate. So from now on, I will distance myself from the demon emissary, which is talking about self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. Mm. So here mentions self-grasping attitude, which makes me wander helplessly. So self-grasping attitude play the root cause to make ourselves to commit abundance of causes, uh, of negative actions, or karma, that which infused by delusions, that which make us wander helplessly from beginningless lifetime up to now, even right now, to seek only selfish happiness and prosperity. That uh, that is our priority. If we check carefully, and that is the priority of childish, priority of who do not understand the meaning of life. The priority of who do not understand the real purpose of spirituality. And sometimes when we check carefully ourselves, we are completely soaked into this kind of um, helpless wandering, only seeking for one's own benefit, one's own fulfillment of one's the selfish interests, one's own happiness and prosperity, and discount every other sentient being. In many cases, even we discount our own this present life's mother. Not only discounting, not only putting away the concern, the well-being of rest of the other humanities, rest of the other sentient being. But then we even forget about, you know, uh, 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 yeah, forget about the well-being of our own present lives parents, especially like mother, who without any doubt, uh, there's only benefit uh, that provided to us. Even we may have misunderstandings, say my mother treated me badly, my mother didn't love me enough, but all these are misunderstanding. The the sacrifices that mother have provided is it cannot substitute by anything in this universe. That is the greatest. And how much you have benefited them, the sacrifices that they have bring about our life, in particularly we as a Dharma practitioner, the precious human life. The one of the main basis of the conditional cause is the mother. You see, so sometimes we even forget about the well-being of our mother. So uh, this is this is the power of self-grasping attitude. The self-grasping attitude play as the mastermind, then that deliver the very powerful agent of self-cherishing attitude, and that just simply protect our own self-interest, and we tend to forget everyone, including our present life's mother, like that. That happens, you see. So uh, and seek only selfish happiness and prosperity. So I will joyfully embrace hardship for the sake of others. Now, after understanding the disadvantage of self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude, then from now on, I will put joyous effort uh, to to only work for the benefit of numberless sentient beings' well-being. So this is the decision that I'm going to make from this very moment onward. You see. So now, so this is the meaning. So so you see. So how to go about this? So how to go about this? First of all, we need to know uh, the actual nature or the characteristic of the root, the mistaken mind, the self-grasping attitude. So just to illustrate slightly more clearer, then as Nagarjuna said in the Precious Garland, verse 28, the I exists, the mind exists. These are wrong as ultimates, for the two are not established by a thought consciousness of reality just as it is. So you see, so self-grasping, how this self-grasping develop, within our continuum. The self-grasping develop first with uh, the uh, uh, the mm, mm, if we discuss based on the uh, the final view of the Buddha, the Nagarjuna's view, then you know uh, I exist inherently. First you establish the inherent existence. In you establish the false view of inherent existent I. Or in another word, you establish in your mind uh, not understanding the actual fact of the how I exist, but simply establishing or believing, asserting, uh, uh, and having conviction that I truly exist, I inherently exist. So that is the first fault. Uh, uh, After you establish I as a true existent, inherent existent, then you establish the existence of mind. It's this existence of mind. If one do not establish the true existence of I in our understanding, then there's no room for the mind to apprehend mind. The mind, our mind, our understanding won't able to establish anything to apprehend as a mind. You see, so therefore, therefore, the as what Nargajuna said, the I exists is referring to the I grasping, or the self grasping, or the self grasping ignorant. Because of you establish the self grasping ignorant, then second, the mind is the self cherishing ignorant, the self cherishing attitude. So the first I is self grasping attitude. Then the mind exists, that says in this quotation, is referring to the self-cherishing attitude. So where the self-cherishing attitude comes from? It comes from self-grasping attitude. The false view on the one's own identity, or false view on one's own identity. So even though the first thing that established in our awareness, the first false view awareness that you establish in our mental continuum is the grasping of I, the grasping of true existent I. But in fact, that grasping of true existent I, in fact, established on the basis of the false view of true existent phenomena. Even though we do not pronounce that there is we do not pronounce, and we don't have the awareness. We don't have the awareness that the grasping of phenomena actually established first in our continuum. Then after that, the secondary level, then the grasping of self, established. In actual fact, the grasping of phenomena established first. Then the grasping of self actualized later. But in our confused awareness, in our ordinary mind, what we are capable to be aware, capable to understand, or the grasping that which express, loudly, obviously, first is the self-grasping attitude, not the self-grasping attitude of the person, not the self-grasping attitude of the phenomena. You see, the reason for that is, without being aware of our aggregates, first thing that we designate as a person, first thing that we pronounce as I, we never really have a consideration of the basis of the person, like the physical form and mental aggregates, etc. Immediately that you are aware of the title of I, isn't it? So that comes in our mind first, isn't it? But actual fact, without the basis of aggregate, there's no basis where you can able to designate as a person. So that is the fact, but we don't realize it. You see, so so therefore, in an ordinary mind, when we talk about the sentient being's mind, when we talk about which grasping actualize first, the self-grasping of person actualize first. But in actual fact, is already actualized the self-grasping of phenomena already. Because without that, you cannot able to influence, to have this self-grasping attitude of a person. So in any way, the Nargajuna quotation, the first I is referred to self-grasping. The second, the mind exists, referring to the self-cherishing. These are wrong as ultimate. So they both self-grasping and the delusion that express on the basis of self-grasping, such as self-cherishing attitude, are wrong in it is ultimate. Why wrong it is an ultimate? Uh, mm, mm. Why wrong as it is ultimate? Because these two are not established. These two are not established in reality. These are false establishment. If you go to investigate, you cannot find true existing I and true existing the things and event that related to mind. You see, so the reason why is ultimately wrong of establishing I and the mind is because these two are not established in reality. It is just established in a confusion, apprehension. Uh, the reason for that is by a thought consciousness of reality, just as uh, by a by a thought consciousness of reality, just as it is. So if you analyze on the reality, absolute reality of how the I exists, how the mind apprehends, then uh, you will come to a point that uh, you will able to witness uh, the actual reality of it is, which is lacking of inherent existence of the I and lacking of inherent or the true existence of the mind. You see. uh, mm. So, for example, uh, again, Nagarjuna, give the example in the Precious Garland, verse 31. It says, "Just as it is said that on the image of one's face is seen depending on the mirror, but does not really exist as a face." So it's exactly like that. So this is the example. So if you have a trouble of apprehending, I exist but do not exist, then we can go to the mirror and look. You try to face your face in the mirror, and you will say, yeah, my face exists there. But then at the same time, when you investigate, that face do not exist there. So you can find when you face your face to the mirror, you able to establish my face exists in the mirror but do not exist. My face exists as a reflection dependent on the face of the face that I'm showing, and the dependent on the mirror that you can able to see the face. But in actual reality, if you go to investigate the face within the face of your own face, and you investigate within the mirror, ultimately, you cannot designate even one substance that which can determine that this is the true existing face, or this is the real face. You see, so like that. So from there can understand. In one way, it sounds like quite easy, but really to feel it and really to in-depth understanding, the understanding of voidness of true existence and inherent existence is not as simple as what the word that you can able to refer to. Word sounds like it's easy. Yeah, I show my face to mirror, and yes, it is easy for me to understand that I can see my face, but my face is not there. uh, but the actual this actual realization of the voidness of face exists but do not exist in the mirror is not as simple as what we hear from the word. So so the example given, the face in the mirror, the meaning again in the same verse. Um, so the conception of I exists dependent on the aggregates, but like the image of one's face, the I does not at all really exist. So when we start to understand this in relation to any idea comes in our mind, or any situation or experiences it comes in our way in relation to any any object that relate through our five senses, we able to have the awareness of this understanding, then you know uh, one can able to protect our mind from expressing delusion, like such as attachment grasping, like such as aversion grasping, and such as living in the darkness of ignorance, because you already understood the you already carry the light of wisdom to understand the actual fact of those experiences. And this, by doing so, you know uh, yes, conventionally there are ups and down experiences are there, pleasant and unpleasant experiences comes in our way, but our mind do not experience the suffering of grasping, because the suffering is very much hallucinational experiences. you know Good and bad, any samsaric experiences is simply expressions of hallucinated mind, mistaken mind. It simply is a mistaken view, you see. So on that mistaken view, even though there's no absolute reality there, but then we experience uh, you know uh, we experience suffering because of strong desire, if it's something to be liking. Strong aversion, we suffer because of strong aversion, because something that we dislike, we avert. So you see, so so therefore, why emptiness play antidote to eradicate any form of suffering? Because any form of samsaric experience or sufferings are simply hallucinational experiences, simply hallucinational expression, simply false views picture, false views idea, where we apprehend. You see, the false view idea of true existence then express the cherishing of grasping, such as attachment or aversion, like that. If something that, because of the self-grasping attitude, the false view of self-grasping attitude, then, as mentioned before, that uh, if it's something liking, then you say this is mine, so you attach, you know. And by nature of any uh, such experiences lies in the impermanent. It's just a matter of time. It comes in changes. When the changes don't comes in your favor, then you have a suffering of attachment grasping, you see. And there are things that which is uh, which you do not wish to encounter, but then it comes in your way, then you express, this is not mine, this is not belong to me, this is not something that I should be experienced, so sense of aversion arises, you see. So basic player is the very much fundamental player is the false view, or the ignorant, uh, yeah, false view of you know of true or inherent existence of the self identity. So when you purify that, you are liberated. You are liberated from misconception, false view. Then you are liberated from suffering. You see, like that. Mm? So you see, so when the arahats, when you define them, uh, freedom from samsara is not defined by physical aggregates, the suffering. It defined by the mind, defined by the mental quality. Whenever they purify all the graspings, all the delusions, then they achieve liberation. You know, uh, the meditator that who still carry the contaminated samsaric aggregate, the physical body, and through meditation within that very lifetime, holding this samsaric body, achieve nirvana, achieve the cessation from samsara, that person still carry the body. They is still subjected to decay. Uh, but then that don't define that particular meditator is not achieve liberation, because that particular practitioner in fact already arhat, already achieve nirvana, You see, already achieved nirvana, even though still carries samsaric body. The reason is that he or she is liberated from the uh, from the from the delusions and the graspings. You see, so from here also can show samsara is just a mental confusion. You know, you see. So therefore, uh, like Lama Tsongkhapa, like Shantideva, they all talks about purifying our mind is the creating pure land, creating the creating the celestial of enlightened one, you see. So it's nothing to do with our physical body. As long as our mind able to be liberated from the darkness of ignorance, then, we achieve the state of light, of wisdom, you see. So, like that. Yeah, you see. Mm. So you see, so from here you can understand from this verse 6 that you can understand that if you train in altruism, that also helps indirectly, not a direct, but indirectly, it helps to reduce the reduce, or it helps to, eliminate. It affects in the purification of the root root problem, the self-grasping attitude. Uh, so like that. Mm, mm. So here's a joyfully embrace hardship for the sake of others. So here, um, so joyfully embrace the hardship. Hardship in what? Hardship in uh, the uh, the practice of the six paramita, which consists of both wisdom and method. Mm. And that is the best tool to benefit others. Working for the sake of others' well-being. You see, so it's not just talking about the method aspect of the path. It's talking about both the wisdom and method aspect of the path. When you talk about working for the benefit of others, is to equipping the skill of method aspect of the path, and as well as the wisdom, the aspect of the path. Mm. So first is to yourself, develop those understanding. Then eventually you develop those realization, those wisdoms. When you equip those wisdoms, then your work of the six parameter to benefit sentient being become most effective. So now verse 7, propelled by karma and habituated to the affliction, the suffering of all beings who share this nature, I will heap them up this self that yearn for happiness. Mm. Propelled by karma and habituated to the affliction, which is talking about the samsaric existence, uh, such as the sentient being, the basis of sentient being, which are the aggregates, the mind of sentient being, the body of sentient being. So these are the propelled by the karma and past habitual afflictions, uh, that which bring the overall samsaric suffering and specific individual, six realm suffering. Uh, so those who are experiencing, all beings who are sharing this nature, means sharing this nature of contamination of karma and delusion, uh, I will help them. I will help them upon this self. Uh, I will help them treat as important as my own self from now on. By disregarding the self-importance, by disregarding the self-centered purposes, rather, you yearn for the happiness of rest of the numberless sentient being as equally as how you used to yearn selfishly for your own self happiness and prosperity. Uh, so um, just to illustrate slightly clearer what it means by propelled by karma and karma and affliction, habitual infliction. Again, it's said in the verse Nargajuna Precious Garland, verse 29. The mental and physical aggregates arise from the conceptions of I, which is false, which is false in fact. How could what is grown from a false seed be true? Mm, mm. So all the sufferings that sentient being experience is because of the false view. So since it's a false view of since the root of the cause of samsara to each and every single sentient being is from the false view of true or inherent existent self, then if you pursue any benefit for that, then it's impossible to actualize those benefits because the self that which grew from the false view, false seed, will not have the uh, uh, will not have the truth, the truth of it is existent, because the seed itself is the false. So false seed will not produce a fruit, isn't it? So similar way, the mental and physical aggregates that arise from the conception of I, uh, sentient beings, the sentient beings, the mental aggregates and the physical aggregates arise from the conceptions, the misconceptions of, self, true existent and inherent existent, which is false. In fact, in reality, it is absolute fault. So therefore, if you pursue anything for the benefit of self-centered interests, how could what is grown from the false seed be true? You know, um, how could what is grown from a false seed be true? So since the person to a person that whom you cherish, there's no real person, it's not possible to be true, because it is developed from the false seed, it is developed from the misconception. So therefore, if you pursue anything benefit for that, is not possible to achieve. So how much, in the name of self-centered pursue, how much you urge for, nothing will be achieved, and that is a um, clear proof that from beginningless lifetime up to today, we have not able to fulfill, what we aspire for. Up to today, uh, we pursue the self-interest, the happiness and prosperity of the self-interest, and still we are completely poverty of that, isn't it? We are completely, you know, uh, uh, in the most extent, uh, how to say, thirst, or feel the empty of not achieving, what you wish for, all those, uh, happiness and prosperity, that exactly how the selfish mind or the self-centered mind aspire for, and that itself is proof, is it? You see, if we already fulfilled all the pursuit of the self-centered mind, then by now that we will not have a roller coaster like a life. We will not have ups and down emotions. We will be completely perfected in happiness. We already should achieve lasting happiness. So the technique, what the self grasping have applied using the self-cherishing tool didn't work up to today from beginningless lifetime. So therefore, we need to change. We need to change. The way to change is, change the attitude, uh, uh, and change the objective. You see, so the attitude is self-centered now. Change to self, cherishing to the well-being of others. Object, well-being of others, other sentient beings, like that. Then verse 8, when selfish craving enters my heart, I will expel it and offer my happiness to all beings. If those around me rise in mutiny against me, I will release it, thinking this is due to my own negligence. Mm. So whenever the self-cherishing attitude arises, uh, like attachment, grasping arises, aversion arises, then I will expel it of my happiness to all being. So the best method uh, to overcome that is to mm, uh, you know to engage in the uh, altruistic attitude, like such as the practice of tong-len, such as generation of love, unconditional love to all beings, and great compassion to all beings. You know, so I will expel it. I will expel the selfish craving uh, by offering my happiness to all beings. If those around me are in mutually against me, especially someone close to you, the loved one, arise in the to against you, then I will release it, thinking that this is due to my own negligence. Then you will cultivate uh, the wisdom understanding of karmic law, cause and effect, wisdom understanding of interdependent arising, you know, interdependent arising in relation to karma. When someone to whom you benefited so much, someone that you regard as a family or loved one, suddenly they oppose you, against you, then instead of blaming them, then rather you cultivate the wisdom of uh, uh, dependent arising of karma. You have harmed them before, you have acted similar way like that before, under the influence of self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. So therefore, uh, therefore I shouldn't be retaliating them. I shouldn't be misunderstanding them. Rather, I should uh, take them as object of my compassion. So whoever coming against you, take them as object of compassion by, uh, on the basis of understanding the wisdom of interdependent rising. Mm? So this is due to my own negligence, uh, not observing not observing the karmic law, cause and effect in the past lifetimes. So, I harmed them before. So because of failing to practice the precepts of karmic law, cause and effect, precepts of moral disciplines of preventing causing harm to other. Therefore, that karmic seed manifests, uh, into this loved one or this relative, come to against me. You see, so the only way to overcome, only way to cure that is, through virtuous cultivation, in particularly altruistic cultivation here, uh, the altruistic wisdom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then verse 9, when my body falls prey to unbearable illness, so so after this, verse 6, verse 7 and 8 uh, is very much, as mentioned before, uh, the having clear understanding of the root cause of all the suffering, which is self-grasping, self-cherishing. So that has to be very clear in our heart, our mind, our understanding, and the characteristic of self-grasping and characteristic of self-cherishing. That has to be very clear in our understanding, and how like attachment, anger, jealousy, pride, all this, where these delusions are coming from. These delusions are expressions of self-cherishing attitude. These are self-cherishing attitude. So this where this self-cherishing attitude arises is very much arise on the basis of self-grasping attitude. So if we want to destroy the the um, the rest of the delusion, then we need to put effort to destroy the root cause, the self-grasping attitude. You see, so the way to destroy the self-grasping attitude or the self-grasping ignorance, um, not any virtues can able to destroy them. You need the opposite mind, that which is wisdom. One is like that, like the darkness only can be eliminated by light. So the ignorant grasping is like the darkness, and the wisdom realizing emptiness is the light. So only wisdom realizing emptiness will able to eliminate the darkness of ignorance. You see, so if the darkness, so you see, so the darkness of ignorance is to do with the self identity, then the wisdom of selflessness only can able to eliminate, because that these two mind oppose directly, 100%, 100%. There's no cooperation, even one single uh, aspect of thoughts within this two mind, you see. So therefore, uh, as long as we remain in the darkness of self-grasping attitude, there's no room for us to gain even the slightest wisdom of emptiness. Because these two play totally in the opposite, if one comes in, the another goes out, like that, you see. So uh, so in particular, to completely to eliminate it, uh, then you need the antidote, the complete antidote, which is the emptiness itself. None of the other virtue can play complete antidote to the ignorant grasping. You see. So now we have to be very clear that the self-grasping attitude, how much virtue we accumulate, how much virtue we accumulate, uh, other than emptiness. Even you accumulate virtue of bodhicitta, uh, it won't be good enough to completely eradicate the self-grasping attitude. So in order to eradicate the self-grasping attitude, you have to realize the wisdom of selflessness, the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so this has to be very clear. Mm. Mm. Then, as I mentioned before, uh, the emptiness wisdom is the general antidote to any negativities. The heaviest negativities is the self-grasping attitude. The grasping ignorant. Uh, so since emptiness can be so powerful until that can eliminate the most powerful negation, then rest of the small negation, light negations, are surely can able to eliminate by the greatest antidote, which is most powerful medicine, the emptiness, isn't it? So therefore, once you understand emptiness, then even you don't understand the rest of the other many numbers of the virtues. Whenever the negativities arises, to eradicate them, purify them, you use the emptiness wisdom. you know at least by contemplating on emptiness, at least by meditating on emptiness, at least by if best is to realize the emptiness, then you eliminate completely those negativities, like that. So so emptiness is like one medicine that can cure all the diseases. Okay. Even there's numberless medicine out there, but there's one disease that anyhow medicine, any powerful medicine out there other than emptiness cannot be cured, which is the grasping ignorant. Mm. Mm. Okay, so now we move on to go through the specific antidotes to specific problems or specific negativities, and also to understand, what kind of experiences that we experience in our life uh, directly caused by, what are the main cause of it. There could be many supplementary causes, but here illustrate the main cause of those particular problems that we face we face in our samsara experiences. So verse 9, when my body falls prey to unbearable illness, it is a weapon of evil karma returning on me uh, for for injuring the bodies of others. You see, so here the weapon they also use. Here the weapon also used as a uh, the negative side. So you can use the both side. The weapon, the sharp weapon as an antidote that strike the heart of the negation, or the karmic weapon, the weapon that which refer to the karmic imprint, that make us experience the ripening karma of suffering. So it is a weapon of evil karma returning on me for injuring the bodies of others. From now on, I will take all sickness upon myself. So whenever we experience the body falls prey to unbearable illness, so any form of illness, this one generally talking about any form of illness. So again, there are particular illnesses as a specific, main causes out there. But in generally, any kind of, fall prey to unbearable illnesses, and this is due to the karma. Uh, these are the result of past uh, action, could be mentally, physically, verbally, injuring the bodies of others. You know, injuring the bodies of others. Mm. Uh, so here, very much, in both bodies, what's say, uh, it could be possible to involve both all body, speech, and mind, or just mind and the body. Uh, but it is something, the karma that which involve the intention to cause harm to the bodies of others. Then the actual action, either by yourself, you're physically, being physically hurting someone's body, or you are ordering someone to hurt someone's body. So that in that case, your physical body is not involved, but you involve someone. It's equal. Then uh, the um, the object that you want to hurt is has to be present. Then not only that, the other's body is really injured, really, really get hurt. So all these four factors has to be involved in order to complete the full karma to uh, to 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 ripen the weapons of the evil karma to bring about the result of unbearable illness. You see. So if these four features are not involved, then uh, uh, yes, you create the karma, but then uh, the result won't be designated, accordingly to that karmic consequences. You see, so it is again, if you explore into the more elaborate, the karmic theory, then you can able to understand that. So in generally, it's very much involved the four factors and causing harm to others' body, and that is the reason why we experience, our body fall prey to unbearable illnesses. So now the cure, now the antidote is, from now on, I will take all sickness upon myself. So in the Mahayanic Dharma, the most powerful antidote is doing tong-len practice, taking and giving practice. And here, uh, the attitude of altruism, the practice of tong-len, also accompanied by a wisdom, wisdom of emptiness. So, so either the wisdom of emptiness, you have a cultivation at the beginning, when you start the practice of tonglen, you meditate on emptiness, or uh, uh, or uh, you interpret, when you are engaging in the actual tonglen practice, uh, you're able to interpret the wisdom of emptiness, uh, such as the practitioner and the tool of tonglen, the practice and the object that where you're doing the tonglen, like you're having awareness of the voidness of inherent existence. So on the basis of that, then you conduct the practice. So then you carry the wisdom with that altruistic practice of tonglen. Then you can also you carry the the wisdom at the dedication part. After you done the practice of tonglen, then at the end you dedicate in three voidness, like the practitioner, the merit you accumulate from tonglen practice, the purpose that you are practicing this tonglen to purify, the physical illness, etc. Then you regard them as you understand, and you express in your understanding that these are lies in the nature of voidness of true and inherent existence, like that. So you can carry the wisdom. You can infuse the wisdom in all three parts: motivation, actual action, dedication. If not, at least at the motivation. If that unable to do, then you're able to do at the actual engagement. If that also forgot and unable to do, at least should infuse during the dedication part. So that way, then the purification become most powerful. You see, just the tonglen practice itself, uh, just the method aspect of part is already very powerful. But you practice union with the wisdom and the method of altruism, then that become most powerful. You see, so this is a very very, very wonderful teaching, that because all of us, how intense, but we experience day to day, uh, physical problems, physical aching here, aching there, and in many cases, some very serious sicknesses. Then this is the practice that we take. So this is the Mahayanic general practice, that how the Bodhisattvas would purify, those karma, and to come to cure, to bring about cure from those physical sicknesses, like that. And more on top of that, by doing so, then you are taking the adversity that you're experiencing in your physical body, the physical sicknesses, onto the path to enlightenment. And the physical sicknesses become one of the most conducive condition to sweeten one's own journey towards enlightenment, to liberation. You see, uh, it is, the sickness become most powerful uh, conducive condition uh, to develop the stages of path until enlightenment. You see, and this is what all the great Gautama masters, why their practices become so effective, why all these great Gautama masters, even up to today, the living Gautama masters, you know, uh, they actualize the path, they actualize enlightenment, mm, is because of such practice, because of they take the full advantage of inconvenience of the samsaric experiences, the inconvenient environment, outer environment, inconvenience of the body that they rented from their parent, even though, great practitioner, but still, the body is a samsaric body, you know, and some great master, they go through a lot of inconvenience of their physical body, but then they don't take that as inconvenience, they take that as opportunity. They take that as the best time, for them to sweeten their journey towards enlightenment. You see, they they regard is like they regard as they found wish fulfilling gem in their life. You see, uh, like I shared this before. My late master, who experienced cancer and who went through the big operation, and uh, he voiced out all the time that how fortunate that I experienced this. How fortunate. It's like the greatest thing that falls on him in his entire life. He even voiced out the whole life I've been praying, uh, you know, for this great moment that where he can sweeten his journey in the spiritual path, and now happen, and how wonderful it is. Uh, you see, but physically, someone is experiencing cancer. Someone who whole stomach is cut, and you can see, it's so weak body out there, but so much delightfulness, so much uh, uplifted spirits. You see, so this is because of the power of these practices that what just now we read in the will of sharp weapon. They take this Lojong teachings as an absolute tool, uh, to fully utilize the samsaric experiences. You see, so these are a great example. So therefore, we cannot say that, oh, the past great masters, they can able to practice, they can do it. No, as I mentioned at the beginning of this session, the Lojong teachings are is so relevant to us, so easy, so easy. Just decide, just decide to practice it. As long as you decide to practice it, then it becomes very favorable. It becomes very easy, and it is so helpful, like that. Otherwise, say, oh no, Lojong, wow, very hard. Bodhicitta, very hard. Just to hear the name is like scared away. Not like that. Mm. Then verse 10: when my mind falls prey to mm, oh yeah, so for the verse 9, like what the Shantideva said, whoever wants to save himself or others quickly should practice the holy secret exchanging self and others. That's what Shantideva said. Whoever want to help oneself or also want to help others, then quickly should practice the holy secret. Means is very precious, the practice of self-exchanging with others. Tong-len practice, you know, tong-len practice. Yeah. uh, you may still remember, like what I said before, in the past teaching, that which come the subject of tong-len practice. Uh, Whenever you take the other's sicknesses, others' karma, others' misfortune, you are taking on to self-grasping attitude. Remember, you are not taking on to the like someone experiencing cancer. You're not taking other suffering onto the cancer lump. You're not doing that. If you have some wound, that you're not taking someone's wound onto your wound. If you are having headache, then you are not taking rest of the samsaric suffering onto your headache. That is quite challenging. And it is not the practice. You are taking onto the self-grasping attitude and self-cherishing attitude. The will of the sharp weapon of the tonglen. Now here, the will of the sharp weapon of all the sicknesses and misfortunes of others directly hit onto the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. And that become most powerful cure to the sickness that what you are going through. No question about it benefiting so much to other, but here the person who benefit the most is yourself. To purify the karma that which caused these sicknesses, and purify and purify the pain, pain that you're going through now, and to prevent the future encountering of cause and condition to to such sicknesses, or to intensify these sicknesses. You see, so it is so powerful and so wonderful. You see, like that. Mm. So that's why, of course, when someone is experiencing physical sicknesses, yes, you need to you go and see a doctor, you take the medicine, but that alone is not sufficient. You see, that is a conducive condition. But the karma, as long as the karma is not purified, then you know it cannot cure completely. So you conjoin with the practice of purifying the karma through such as the tong-len practice, self-exchanging with other. Then at the same time you see you take the medicine. Then you know uh, the cure could possible, and even it doesn't get cure, but then you don't mentally you don't suffer, because you carry the wisdom, and not only that, you're able to prevent such experiences in future times. You see, so it's a very very beneficial. Verse 10: when my mind falls prey to suffering, so now is the mind, it is a weapon of evil karma turning upon me for definitely causing turbulence in the heart of others. From now on, I will take all suffering upon myself. Mm. So mental sufferings, including like depression, like that. Uh, the suffering of hallucinations, suffering of delusions. Mm. Uh, yeah, and in this world today, one of the major suffering is the mental suffering. Is more than the physical suffering that the human beings are experiencing. You see, and it is a weapon of karma. Uh, the karmic cause is causing turbulence in others, in the heart of others. You're disturbing others' peace. Disturbing others' virtue, disturbing others' uh, peace and happiness. Again through body, speech, and mind. So basically, when you cultivate 10 non-virtuous action, whichever, in relation to others, then that causing, either physical harm or either mental harm to others. You see, so these are the karma that which cause us physical suffering and mental suffering. You see, so here in particularly causing the turbulence in the heart of others. You see, uh, uh, you know, uh, false, rumors, false accusations, mm? Or simply just being very domineering and you know, scolding them, you know, calling bad names, etc., etc. Basically anything that disturb people's heart. That is the main cause, that the main karma that cause our mental suffering. Okay, so uh, so one of the practical, very initial and practical and simple practices, you know, try our best to make people happy. Try our best to make people happy. Then, of course, if people who can afford to practice according with this teaching, the Lojong practice, then uh, the antidote is, from now on, I will take all suffering upon myself. Again, it's tong-len practice. So, uh, all the suffering of other sentient beings, in particularly mental sufferings, you take upon your own self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude. So there again, got a visualizations. I have said that before. Uh, you can do visualizations uh, in the form of dark smokes, in the form of blood and pus, or in the form of yeah, or even actual, visualize the actual the if it's a mental suffering, then in the form of like dark smoke, etc. If it's a physical thing like those lumps like that, then directly hit onto the directly hit on the self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude. Mhm. So how to hit on self-grasping and self-cherishing attitude? It's not like you take the stone and just hit on something else. It's not like that. You see. So when you take those sufferings, through visualization of, let's say, dark smoke. So the moment uh, you see the let's say, as if like literally, as if there's a literally concrete kind of uh, self is there and self grasping is there. That was the main reason why all these things happen, why all negativities happen. Then the moment that the things that you visualize and take upon, and you realize that you are realizing it is ultimate nature, means the moment that the dark smoke reaches to the self grasping, or the self grasp onto the self, wherever you are, you kind of feel it, maybe somewhere around the heart, somewhere here, wherever. Then it's like the moment it reaches there, the moment it touches there, then you realize both the sickness and that comes in the visualization, the dark smoke, and the self that which you are taking on, and the grasping, the concept, everything in the voidness of true and inherent existence, and completely, sees in the voidness. Sees the sickness in the voidness, sees the dark smoke that you visualize as sickness, that in the voidness, sees the self in the voidness, sees this self-grasping attitude also in the voidness, and completely, actualize um, the purity state of, uh, you know, lacking all those negativities, and absolute in the field of freedom, which is acknowledging of sense of bliss. So there you union wisdom and method. Then you remain in that comfortable zone for as much as you can. Feeling the voidness of what I've just said, and actualizations of the voidness with complete freedom, complete blissfulness. Uh, you see, so that will help. So that this is the way what it means, uh, taking onto the self-grasping, and not just living there, because it bring about the benefit. The benefit is the purification of the self-grasping. The self-grasping to the self, and self-grasping to the phenomena, which is the sickness of others. So if you are doing this for your own self, let's say that that there's some sickness, and then um, you know you can do in the altruistic way, but you can also do that particular sickness you visualize to destroy. You visualize as like how you did before to the others, similar way, but then the point is to eliminate the self-grasping to the pain that you are experiencing, purify the self-grasping of I who is experiencing that pain. uh, then you actualize yourself in the state of union of bliss and voidness. Then remain in that concentration as much as possible, as much as possible. So that is a very powerful healing, healing, you see, uh, very powerful purification practice. You can do this for others, you can do this for yourself. Mm? So, mm, so, so for both, like what again Nargajuna again said, also point out in the precious Garland verse 14. It says, "A short life comes through killing. Much sufferings comes through harming." So suffering, mental suffering, physical suffering, comes from harming others, harming other sentient beings. Then verse 11, when I am tormented by extreme hunger and thirst, it is the weapon of evil karma turning upon me for engaging in deception, theft, and miserliness act. From now on, I will take all hungers and thirst upon myself. Mhm. Mm. Like what, again, Nagajuna's precious Garland, verse 14, it says, pour resources through stealing. Pour resources through stealing. Then, mm, then through not giving comes poverty. Mm. You pour resources through stealing, and through not giving comes poverty. So, yeah, those who can able to practice according with this Lojong, who are capable to do tong-len practice, then the remedy to overcome hunger and thirst, poverty, uh, understanding that these karmas these are the result of deception, thefts, and miserliness, etc. Uh, um, then, the cure, that the antidote is again doing tonglen practice. So all the suffering of hunger and thirst in any living being, like such as hungry ghosts. The hungry ghosts are the one who experience the most suffering of hunger and thirst. Then in animal realm, and then even in the human realm, So all those sufferings you take upon to your self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude. Mm. Then you resource them by giving all your happiness, all your virtues of the past, present, future. But then, if someone who is not capable to do that, and at least by understanding these are due to what karmic causes, then you know, like what Nagarjuna says, through not giving comes poverty, comes hunger and thirst, etc. So now, meaning you should give generosity, you should practice generosity, practice generosity. Mm. Mm. So, so the practice of generosity is also antidote to the stealing, antidote to miserliness, antidote to theft, deception, etc. So you can at least practice generosity. So generosity, again, generosity of material gifts, uh, generosity of dharma, dharma wisdom, and generosity of protection. Protection others from fear, problems, etc. So and basic practice of generosity. Just a helpful hand. What you call being helpful in your best ability. Whoever comes in your way, those who need help, like being generous in 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 a positive energy, being generous in your smile, being generous in a kind word, being generous in the gesture of respecting others. You see, like that. You see, mm. Like I think you already heard the story. Uh, one beggar, Buddha encountered one beggar, and the beggar voiced out that why I am so poor, why I am so suffering of poverty, and Buddha says that practice generosity. And then he said that I have nothing. How to practice generosity? So he said, you got mouth, you got your physical limbs, so uh, then the physical limb, you just be helpful to anyone who need help. You don't need money, you don't need wealth for that. Then you have a speech, you can be generous in the kind words, wise words, to the world, to the people, then at least to your families, your pets, kind words, especially in the practice of Mahayanic Dharma. They are being generous in recitation of mantras, being generous in the recitations of sutras, like reciting um, like medicine Buddha mantra to the ants, to the flies, or just recite medicine Buddha mantra or compassionate Buddha cherishing mantra. And when you recite, there's a breath going in and out, isn't it? So the breath, that when you're reciting the mantra, the breath is a bless. The breath transmit to the air, and this air travel everywhere, and it touches the environment. It touches living beings. You see, especially in the crowd. When you are walking in the crowd, just you know uh, recite mantras. Then uh, your your whole body is blessed with the mantra. Then there's air, like a wind touches your body and touches the breath that is travel. So entire people in the shopping mall, entire people, in the busy street, are all will be blessed. So that is generosity, generosity of speech. You see, is if you are able to, then give, like that the lectures, teaching that which will impact others for their virtue, for their betterment of life. But if not, at least can recite mantras. You know, you can recite mantra. You can recite in your heart, not necessarily have to recite loudly. You can recite in your heart. You see, just one benefit, like uh, you know, just hearing just one time of medicine Buddha mantra. You know, the sentient being, whoever hear that, block the door to three Lord realms in the next rebirth. You see. Uh, so there's numberless formless beings, numberless formless beings, numberless. It's not just few. It's much more than humans. You see, everywhere. Everywhere. So you see, so all those numberless beings, whenever you recite mantra, they benefit. You know, if you are somebody who like to watch watch TV, but your mouth recite mantra. You see, some people may like to spend time doing gardening. Your mouth don't do gardening. You, your mouth free, so your hand do gardening. Then mouth you recite mantra, like medicine Buddha mantra or Om Mani Padme Hum. Everybody knows Om Mani Padme Hum. And Om Mani Padme Hum is the most powerful mantra among all the mantras. You see, just a sixth syllable act as a sixth antidote to the six realms samsaric existent. Can you imagine? Just able to contribute virtuous, powerful virtuous antidote to each samsaric living sentient beings, specifically because of you recite six syllable mantra. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Like that. So someone who like to do jogging, climbing mountains, walking, going shopping, a mouth free. So recite Om Mani Padme Hum, recite Om Mani Padme Hum, like that. So driving, some people need to work and need to drive a lot. Mouth free, Om Mani Padme Hum. Can recite Om Mani Padme Hum. You see, so it won't discount any our normal duty to recite these powerful mantras. So if, when you do that, you are making unbelievable generosity. And this is not just ordinary generosity, generosity of Dharma, It's not generosity of Dharma is not like somebody just sit on the throne and teach, initiate, That's one example only. Anyone can give generosity of Dharma to numberless sentient beings, just simply reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. Can you imagine? You see? And you can recite Bodhicitta prayers. The Lama Atisha composed Chanchu Simjo Rinpoche, Maje Panam Jeju Jijo Anyamano Kone Kono Pevarisho. Unbelievable, powerful aspirational prayers. Buddhist altruistic prayers. Unbelievable. You see? Like that, Otherwise, this very powerful speech, like totally, how to say, unutilized, wasted. Go to bed, doesn't matter. Don't worry about need to sit properly. Only can recite in the prayer room. Not like that. You can recite. Om Mani Padme Hum in the toilet. We spend so much time in the toilet. Each time you go to toilet, maybe at least 1-2 minutes wasted. You see, you recite Om Mani Padme Hum. There are so many sentient beings that who karmically attached to the toilets. Their karma is only attached to the toilets. The kaka, wiwi, So you see, so you recite Om Mani Padme Hum, you bless every one of them, especially in the conscious. There are such beings, and you are especially dedicating for them. Besides the rest of the numberless sentient being, specifically you are helping them. Being generous in dharma to them. You see, like that. Cooking. When you cook, you recite Om Mani Padme Hum while you're cooking. All your food is blessed. Not only helping the rest of the family members, especially in the family, others are not practicing Dharma, not understand the value of Dharma, is the best way to help. When you're cooking, you recite Om Mani Padme Hum in your heart, you generate bodhicitta motivation, then you serve the food to them. You are liberating them. You are leading onto the path. You see, that will play a very important karmic cause that eventually will ripen for them to practice and realize all the path, stage the path with enlightenment like that. You see? And if you have pets, the pets, animals, they come into your life is so precious. It is their fortunate, but just coming into your life, just feeding them, yes, is great, but you have much more thing to offer to them. Not only taking care in this life, but you are taking care of them for the rest of the future lifetime. Starting from next life, taking precious human rebirth, just like what you have. Then meeting perfect mind in Guru, then actualize all the path, the stage of the path within that lifetime, and completely ever free, actualize the freedom from all the 6 realms, you see. So for that, giving Dharma generosity, reciting mantra towards them. Every time give food, you recite mantra to them. You see? So I give a homework. My brother's family, where my mother, brother, they all live, and small niece and nephew, small kids. So there's one stupa, there's one prayer wheel. So everybody, ask them to take the chicken, the dog, and they also have a lot of rabbits. So chicken, dog, rabbit, whenever they have opportunity, take around the stupa, take around the prayer wheel, and many of my family who stay at home, they never study the illiterate, then they didn't study Dharma, like receiving, teachings, like in understanding. So told them the story of the Kimda Pelke, the fly of in his past life, just going around in the stupa, able to take the human rebirth, able to become monk, able to become arhat within that lifetime. Then the old woman, that who is the main reason that Guru Shakyamuni Buddha bring about the prayer wheel, put so many mantra inside and turning, just by turning, one time, whatever amount of prayer mantra inside the prayer wheel, equivalent of reciting that much mantra, you see, and benefited, and to that lady. Similar, like this kind of story, you see. So, so you see, so these are factual story. So you can do that. You see. So I'm saying this. You can also advise your relatives, if, your other family members, if in case they have pets, you know, uh, and if they're able to, they can recite mantras. Then we can see very clearly example from Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche putting so much effort, uh, to bless the animal by reciting mantras, creating the animal house with full of mantras, playing mantra recordings, etc., etc. So you see, so all these are practice of generosity. What I'm trying to say is there's abundance and abundance of way to do practice of generosity. Then that will make us rich in virtue, richness in all the conducive conditions, for our temporary happiness and also our future for lasting happiness, like that. Okay, so with this note, I stop here. So we do short dedication. So whatever merit that we accumulate from this session, be the complete cause for the temporary happiness and ultimate happiness of numberless sentient beings. May this merit be complete cause to overcome all the challenges, all the fear and the danger and the suffering that caused by political disputes, caused by uh, mm, uh, uh, natural disasters, uh, misunderstandings, whatever they may be, to overcome and able to live everybody in harmonious, in virtues, and peace and happiness. May this collective merit be complete cause for each and every uh, leaders in the world, leaders of organizations, the leaders of family, and yourself who lead your life, always equipped with the wisdom and compassion, so that anyone under your leadership able to enjoy peace and happiness and virtues. May this collective merit be complete cause for all the good people in this world to have a long life, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, Gyaltsab Lama Rinpoche, and all the other gurus, and all the good people like yourself, your family members, to always enjoy long life, good health, prosperity, and fulfill all your aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause for anyone who passed away, in particular in the last 49 days, to purify the suffering of death, suffering of intermediate state, suffering of rebirth, and actualize perfect, precious human rebirth, or pure land, and actualize enlightenment within that lifetime. May this collective merit be complete cause for in this world to pacify this pandemic, sufferings, and actualize the cure, the vaccine, and be most effective, and will able to come back into normality with transform, uh, you know, uh, equipped with wisdom and compassion. Janjo Simjorin Boja Majapanam Jeju Jawani Bamayang Kone Gundo Pevashu, Tony Tawari Boja Majapanam Jeju Jawani Bamayang Kone Gundo Pevashu, Tawari Boja Majapanam Jeju Jawani Bamayang Kone Gundo Pevara, Jo Kari Kowe, Singam the Pendant of Marijo and Cheres, what is it? Shabeze de Bado, Danger, Tuzo Chaji Jangu Jave, the Zinjobe Kunso Doba, Chozo Kowe Lemeto. Dazo de Jeguando Shab de Sho Jawagundo Yandanama, Tamechi, Pella Longe, Sadanam, Doje Changi, Combanyo, Semjene Bajini Banyudo Neleta, you do Veneman, Dado Juan, but you better so amicabi, she knew, but Semjera, the Samba children do better. Okay, thank you very much, and please take care. And yeah, please take good care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a meaningful days ahead. Okay, bye-bye.